I think
Always
we're
ready.
all ready, and some folks might be ready for a break from the heat, but not quite yet. Yesterday, there were a few records set. Temperature in St. George didn't climb into record territory, but it was in the upper 90s. Most valleys were in the 80s, including Salt Lake. We hit 82, keeping us well above average for this time of year. Today's record is 86. We'll likely break that. In fact, very easily. Our average low is 48. We're starting out much higher, 60 degrees currently, so pretty comfortable when you head out the door, at least in Salt Lake, but a chilly 39 in Ely. Far south, temperature in St. George is starting out near 70. Now, high pressure, which has been keeping it hot and dry, will continue to do so. It's just that it gets pushed off a little to the east later today as a storm approaches from the Pacific Northwest. That's what will send a cold front into far northern Utah late afternoon and then sliding across the rest of the state later this evening and overnight. But out ahead of it, we'll get some wind out of the south, and that's going to help the temperature in Salt Lake climb all the way up to 90. So it'll feel like it's still summer for a lot of you. In fact, a lot of valleys will be running about 10 to 20 degrees above average for this time of year. And again, records are likely. Unfortunately, well, let me go back here and you can see that with some of the winds potentially gusting above 30 miles per hour over western Utah, as well as the higher terrain of the north, that's leading to high fire danger with a red flag warning will be in effect from noon until 9 o'clock. Now, overnight, we're only going to drop down into the mid-60s in St. George, so a cool start to the marathon, but it's going to be warming up pretty quickly. In fact, even by noon, it'll be in the mid-80s, and by later in the day, you'll peak in the mid-90s, so almost as hot as yesterday. That front just knocks the temperature down a few degrees in the south. And you'll hover pretty close to that into early next week, increasing clouds Tuesday, but then they'll be thinning out again by the middle of next week. And in Salt Lake City, it's going to be a little cooler tomorrow morning and a noticeable drop in temperature. It'll be about 10 degrees lower on Saturday, but as you saw by the almanac, that's still well above normal for this time of year. So a sunny, warm weekend. Great news for General Conference or whatever you have planned outside. And we're not done yet. We'll still hang on to temperature in the low to mid 80s through most of next week.